Hello and welcome to another episode of, I've forgotten what the show is called.
You idiot. We like old adverts.
Hello and welcome to another episode of We Like Old Adverts. I'm Jim Campbell. I'm joined by the brothers Deeney, and today our guest is Doc Brown, who is of course an actor, a rapper, a writer, all kinds of different things.
Renaissance man.
All the stuff. So Ben, thank you very much for joining us today. How you doing?
No worries, man. I'm good. Glad to be here. I'm excited by this.
Yeah, your advert is the advert you've chosen is a Superman anti-smoking advert that we're going to take a look at in a minute. And what's kind of made you choose that?
Well, I don't know. I mean, obviously the concept, old adverts, everybody's got adverts they remember from when they were kids. And it's normally the ones that stick out are the ones with songs, aren't they? Because you remember seeing them as a kid. So I was trying to think beyond that without Googling. I was just thinking, what are the adverts that had a big impact on me? And I suddenly thought back to being in year 6 in primary school. Every now and again, there'd be like, a warning, like, did you ever have police come to your school and say, get tracked?
And they do like a little play. You ever that?
We had like a policeman come and talk about some kid who like poked his head out of a train and then he got his head chopped off. And you're like, I don't buy this story, but I mean,
They used to give you those little catalogues with all the drugs in them. And all it made you do was go want to try all of the drugs in the little pamphlet, Didn't do anything to stop you,
And of course, like playing with fireworks. I remember him talking about playing with fireworks. I thought, I've never done that, but it does sound awesome. Thanks for bringing it to my attention. I don't think it was, I don't know if it was the police or it was just like some curricular thing, but we used to have the old TV on legs with the wooden doors. You remember those?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, wow.
Age to remember those. You'd have the little lock, get the key from the caretaker, open the TV doors. They'd wheel that old guy in. And, we'd watch certain things, little documentaries or whatever. And this one time they wheeled it in and they showed us these like public health adverts. And one of them was about road safety and one of them was anti-smoking. And of course, again, like we're year 6. I mean, it wasn't really a rough era. I couldn't think of anybody that I knew who smoked cigarettes when I was like 10 years old. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they showed us this thing, and it's like animated Superman flying down and warning these kids who, similar to us, these characters seem to have no interest in smoking whatsoever. It's like all of a sudden, all this crap's happening. Like there's this guy Nicotine trying to push cigarette. Superman's like, I'll get you nicotine, and the kids are like, oh my god, this is terrifying. And we were just watching it going, I don't know why this is happening, why, like none of us were planning to smoke anytime soon. Secondary school I could understand something, but well, that's always sort of lived in memory.
Yeah, should we take a look?
Yeah, let's take me back.
Come on, kids. If you want to grow up fast, take one of these. One puff and they'll soon be in my grasp.
Hey! Not so fast, Nicotine. If you want to go up fast, take one of these. With my X-ray vision, I can see the harm cigarettes do inside people's bodies. That's why I never say yes to a cigarette.
Wow.
Well, I certainly don't want to smoke.
Somewhere in Metropolis. It really does sound like those kids are from East London, not Metropolis, I'll be honest.
I'm sure there's other versions and extended versions where you'll hear more of the kids' accents. It's all badly British dubbed. But Superman on that particular one sounds sort of almost Eastern European, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's out a little bit Russian, doesn't it?
Like a little American twang. It was very shoddily put together.
The animation's amazing, though.
The
animation's top draw. I mean, we need to talk about Nicotine, surely.
Yeah. I like his hat.
He's so into his tab ends. His hat is one. His hat is a tab end that is lit.
What's his, like, I mean, you had Lex Luthor and people like that. They had these huge plans about what they were going to do. What's his aim? Like, do you know what I mean?
In fact, with the kids.
Well, he's changed his name to Nico Vape now, so, moved with the times.
I feel like this is more of a kind of like 1960s Batman villain than a Superman one.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Penguin and the Riddler. Like, he just loves smoking. Just really into it. Weird.
It's a nice name as well, isn't it? I mean, is it definitely Irish? Is that what the consensus is? He must be Irish.
Yeah. Very possible. Did they push this stuff in the 90s? I mean, this was the very tail end of the 80s that I saw this. So it was like 10 years old. This is like 89, right? I don't remember my brother's quite a bit younger than me. I don't remember him coming home and saying anything about that in the 90s. And I definitely don't remember anything like that in secondary school. It just seems a weird thing to have pushed, especially in an era where outside of those kind of public health things for kids, you didn't really feel that anyone really cared about kids. Kids didn't
know how good they had.
Every Saturday in the pub, waiting for your parents to finish drinking. That was my experience anyway.
Yeah. So this advert wasn't actually on TV then? Because I don't remember seeing it. It's so weird that this advert was basically just wheeled into classrooms and played to kids.
You were too busy smoking, Jim. You were doing it,
Too cool.
I mean, I don't want to slag Orteen off because, he's doing a good job and stuff, but he's definitely dead now, isn't he?
What,
after being thrown in the air so high by Superman? Superman
He was very heavy-handed.
Well, yeah. I think it was the punishment did not fit the crime there at all.
Those kids have had a bewildering day. Right?
Yeah.
Let's go roller skating.
We're just trying to get on with their roller skating. This guy comes along, tries to sell us fags, and then Superman killed him. It happened in like 30 seconds.
Is he a shield for big?
All right. Like, here, nicotine. Throws him over a skyscraper. Don't just throw him. He's over a skyscraper. And that's just all right. It's like, that's what you do to criminals. You just murder them.
Well, he's trying to murder some children, so I'm going to murder him. It's very biblical justice system they've got in Metropolis, East London. So Orteen is a shill for the big tobacco companies, isn't he? Essentially, he's pushing bags on kids. Yeah. He needs to work on his marketing. He looks like the child catcher from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. You want to look like someone who's really down with the kids in 1980. Like,
I had a problem with taking a fag off him though. Like, he was quite pushy, wasn't he? And I get corrupted by people like that all the time. Just have a fag. All right, mate.
We'll move on. I honestly think Superman would be more interesting if he smoked. He's such a goody two shoes, isn't he?
Yeah,
He's not affected by it either, unless they made kryptonite fag.
That would have been so much better. That would have been a far better campaign.
But did you ever used to do that thing like? This is a very niche crossover point of my life, I guess. When I was old enough to smoke fags, but young enough to still like have a bottle of blowing bubbles. I definitely remember inhaling smoke and then blowing into the bubble thing.
Nice.
Marveling at the bubble full of smoke, and then if you pop it, the smoke pops out. It's very entertaining, satisfying.
Right.
So maybe Superman, because he could do that thing where he blew out freezing cold smoke, and he could blow out iron. You could get some real cool visual effects if he did smoke.
Yeah, if he
was a bit too pompous for that.
Exactly, yeah, it's a bit more interesting. You could have a lot of fun with it. Right, so we're going to move on to our next advert, which is for the Complete Australian Microwave Cookbook.
The baby's crying. Heat the bottle in 30 seconds. Fresh and stale bread in 30 seconds. Prepare eggs in a minute. Sizzling steaks in 5. A whole roast in under 10. The freedom machine of the 80s, the microwave oven. Until now, there hasn't been a simple, foolproof guide to microwave cooking. Do you find your veggies come out dry, eggs tough or rubbery, or food too moist? National, together with Decalon, have released the Complete Australian Microwave Cookbook. Written in simple language with chapters on problems and their solutions, how to convert recipes, all the temperature and timing charts you could ever need, plus hundreds of easy-to-follow, mouth-watering recipes. From breakfast to beverages, right through to entertaining, the recipes are complemented by some of the most beautiful full-color photographs ever assembled. Your desserts will look and taste delicious. Savor the soups, crave the cakes, make the most of meat. The complete Australian microwave cookbook is yours for just $12.95.
There's so many elements to that. I mean,
It's
I guess number one, it doesn't make you want to eat anything.
No, or have children.
So they show you all that gross stuff, and it just puts you right off anything else they show you.
Yeah.
Number two, who's cooking a roast in 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Whole roast chicken.
Yeah.
If you're having a microwave roast, mum and dad are having problems. You know what I mean? Like no one should be even considering that.
Did you see the steak he dragged out of that microwave, all dripping, and like it looked like full of E. coli, and like, or when he says the food's too moist, and he squeezes, I think it's a bap, and it just drips with this kind of matter, like ectoplasm. It's just a sponge or something. And my favourite line in the whole thing. Sorry, Annie Leibovitz, but these are some of the most beautiful full-colour photographs ever assembled.
That's a claim. There's a couple of bits of libel in there. That's one of them.
Yeah.
The other one's got to be turn stale bread fresh.
Yeah.
It's stale. It's stale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was new to me as well. I didn't realise you could do that. And then I'm realising now that you can't do that.
It's that type of bread that ages like a fine milk.
Speaking of milk, does she pour milk on her wrist? Like,
Yeah.
That's the thing, though. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
that is, yes. It's because you more, yeah.
Something about
Trust
the
us.
sensitivity of that spot. I don't know. I've seen human beings do that in the 2020s. So that's okay.
It's
doesn't
for
say a lot.
milk and perfume. That's what you put there, and that's it.
Right.
I love that the only way to work a lesser model of microwave from a rival is just to whack it. Oh, it's just so complicated.
Repeatedly.
Help.
The guide to how to use these freedom machines of the 80s.
I was going to say, it doesn't say a lot for the actual book that she can't trust how long milk needs to be in there. She has to test it on her wrist.
Yep.
She should be putting it in there, going 30 seconds, taking it out and going, that's what the book said. And if it scolds the kid, that's their problem. Sue them.
Big time.
Yeah, absolutely. There's your litmus test. Forget your wrist.
Yeah. The book said. So.
What year do you reckon the advert was?
Oh, it's got to be, I reckon, like 84.
Yeah.
84, right? 84. Now, let's just have a think about like going to Waterstones in 2020. I'm thinking, I need to think twice, maybe more than twice, before I buy a book over £10.
Yeah.
That book was $12.95 in 1984.
Wow. Yeah. That's and
That could have bought you so many cigarettes.
But it has got
buy a
some of the-
microwave now. What was that? It'd be like 50 quid today.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah, it's got some of the most beautiful photos ever created.
That's true.
weird sort of about turn where they try and sell it as an art book as well. Also, they're at real pains to talk about how simple it is. But have you seen the pages on it? It looks like the instructions to the Hadron Collider.
It's like Ulysses. It's just so big and so minute. Right. I like the overlay text, like yuck, simple language, help. I mean, it's really on point. But I think one of my favourite bits is where it says, you can make beverages. Who's putting beverages in the microwave? There were cocktails as well.
Coloured cocktails.
Yeah, fancy a mojito, Debbie? Yes, please.
Ice and hot.
Bing. Freedom machine of the 80s. Oh, man.
Why did
Also, even entertaining, right? So they're entertaining. So you say, I mean, that banquet looked like quite the offering. It's maybe like 8 people. God, just do everyone like kind of individual. Like,
Oh, yeah.
already, and then you got to say to the last guy, "Sorry, I like you the least, so you're gonna have to wait." And then this next one, and then this next bit, and then that bit. It's utterly bizarre. And what makes it Australian? Why is it Australian?
Unworkable. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? They're just going, oh, this has been popular in Australia. Let's just use that. Also, why did 80s lamb chops have little hats on?
Yeah,
Yeah, you don't see them anymore.
on
But
the
I do like it.
ribs, right? On the,
Yeah, like little chef hats. Yeah, ain't that strange? Oh, well.
I mean, this is a great example of the past being a foreign country, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we're going to move on to our final advert now, which is a huge example of that. It's actually the first ever McDonald's advert that was on TV, and it is nightmarish. Let's have a look.
Introducing the world's newest, silliest, and hamburger-eatingest clown, Ronald McDonald. Now, where is that clown? Oh, Ronald, Ronald! Ronald! Hey, Ronald!
Here I am, kid. Hey, isn't watching TV fun? Especially when you got delicious McDonald's hamburgers.
Ronald, you can't be on TV and watch it at the same time. Now, come on and meet the boys and girls.
Oh, we've already met. I know we're going to be friends, too, because I like to do everything boys and girls like to do. Especially when it comes to eating those delicious McDonald's hamburgers. A magic tray here keeps me well supplied. McDonald's hamburgers, French fries, and milkshake. Watch for me on TV. We'll have lots of fun.
He's Ronald McDonald, the hamburger happy clown. A McDonald's drive-in restaurant is his favorite place in town.
Well, that's an ordeal, man.
Yeah.
Time has been very kind to that mascot. Blimey.
I don't know if I've ever seen such a first draft of anything. He's barely even a clown.
Everything's wrong with it. The golden arches are wrong. Ronald McDonald looks like he's been caught eating from the bins in the back. It's like McDonald's in the upside down, from Stranger Things.
Yeah.
But it's
that V-dub Beetle just pulling away. Yeah.
I love that at the end. It's like, couldn't you have reserved the parking space? It's your first ever advert.
It's so funny. It's also a bit threatening, isn't it? If you're a kid growing up seeing that,
yeah,
he's in the dark for some reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that
claims he's already met all the kids. I'd be quite frightened by the news that this thing has moved to the town. Knocking about, wants to be made.
Got some very It vibes about it, haven't they?
Oh, massive.
The bit that catches me is when there's a couple of frames between where he finishes doing his dance and they're going, "Oh, it's Ronald McDonald," and the end where it fades out and he's stood ominously looking down the camera that's the bit where you know that he's definitely a murderer.
I think it's at that bit he's about to go and sell the children of Metropolis cigarettes.
He doesn't look a million miles away from Nico, does he?
Doesn't. He's got the words of damage.
Whatever you represent, you just wear it in a hat.
Yeah. Well, his hat is amazing to me because have you noticed his hat? So he's got his magic tray, and they try to do the effect where it fills up every time he eats it. It just doesn't quite work because it's the 60s and they didn't have an option. Fair enough. But his hat is like a restaurant counter. It's like the bit where you buy your food. What is the decision making behind that? It really is like they just knocked up this character in a day and it's still around now.
When you shoot food, as we know from the incredible photography in the Australian food, you want it to look at least sort of neat, fresh. Did you see the state of the hamburger? He just slaps it, not even on a plate or anything. This is like some musty old floppy piece of crap. He just slaps it down on that little tray thing.
It was like if you cooked a Rustler burger without that Australian microwave book.
Yeah, it's definitely pre-food art, isn't it?
Chronologically, this was not too far away from the time of John Wayne Gacy, was it? This is... the clown serial killer in America. And it's where he says, I like to do the things all girls and boys like to do. Expect his head to just keep on turning and his eyes to cross.
Who inspired
who? Weird phrase, isn't it? Really weird phrase.
Yeah.
Such a weird phrase.
The narrative of the adverts all over the place. It's like, let's come and meet the boys and girls. Oh, I've already met them. Why? In terms of the story, why? Bizarre.
And then
already met him. Don't have to. I've already met him. Yeah.
You can't watch TV and be on TV at the same time. Yeah, that is literally what's happening. Honestly, it's like they haven't double checked anything. Just there's a bit of improv perhaps, and they've got a rough script together, and they just shot they shot the thing in just one take for everything. When the beetle falls away, done. That is in the back.
The voiceover guy at one point steps out and takes his burger off of him while he's telling him he can't be on TV while he watches TV. It's like, we can let him have his burger at least. Yeah. Distract him from eating.
Maybe they were taking it away because it looked so bad. They're like, give us that here, hide that.
So I looked at some of the comments in the YouTube video there, just beneath it, and some of my favourites were, there's a new clown and it's in the White House.
Oh,
yeah. We've gone into third gear now. I liked this one, Miss Old Day.
Miss Old Day.
Miss Old Day. And my favourite one was, I love watching classic TV commercials from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s and 90s. Do I know the channel for you, sir? Don't worry, I plugged it. I gave us a plug.
Nice. Cool. Well, it's very rare that I don't see any sort of McDonald's advertising and then want a McDonald's, but I'm fine today. Absolutely fine, got to say. So I think that brings us to the end. And Ben/Doc, thank you very much for joining us. Massively appreciate that.
Cheers, mate. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
So
Thanks very much,
if you've enjoyed what you see, you can like and subscribe. Leave a comment below. You can like us on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube, tell all your mates, and then we can become YouTuber millionaires, and everyone will be happy. So thanks very much. We'll see you later.
See you later, guys.